Hi everybody, this is Jeff V from Corvette Forum. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff regarding upgrading the infotainment system on a 2014-2015 Corvette Stingray. There's been a couple threads out there, some discussions I've been part of, and there's been a little bit of confusion as far as things that do and don't work after the upgrade, the performance of the system, things like that. So I just wanted to try and take a quick video to clear up a little bit about that. This isn't really meant to be a deep dive into what it takes to upgrade one of the earlier cars, what components to buy, all that. That'd be a much longer video for a much longer time. But as of right now, there's some pretty good threads out there on the forums and on the internet if you want to go and check that out. So today I mainly just wanted to cover some real basic things. The first thing, probably the most popular question that comes up is if you've got a Z51 like I do, again, mine's a 2014 Z51, there's issues with the drive mode settings. What that means, normally when you change your drive modes in the car, they're either preset to where GM said they would be. So like if you're in sport mode, then the exhaust is loud and the suspension's stiffer and the steering's heavier. And if you're in touring mode, it's all a little lighter and a little quieter. The 2014s, 2015s, and even the cars after that have a menu in the center screen where you can customize that. If you go in here, it would be under drive mode. Now, as you can see on mine, which is running the 2016 hardware in a 2014 car, that menu is just not there anymore. That so far seems to be the only thing that I've lost or that it doesn't work, or I guess you could say is broken after the upgrade. So I can't customize that. So all that really means is that, say in sport mode, I can't have the quiet exhaust, or in touring mode, I can't have the heavier, stiffer steering. I have to go with whatever GM's presets say that mode would be. So I can't customize it. But now with that said, everything still works. So if I come over here to the main cluster, you can see down at the bottom, my modes still change. I don't have my cluster display linked to my drive mode, which is why the main display is not changing, but I do promise you that does work. But you can see the modes change at the bottom. If I had the car running, you'd hear the exhaust change. When I'm driving it, I can feel it perform differently when I've got it in different modes. All my steering wheel controls still work. I can page over to different options in there. All that stuff seems to be working just fine. The radio controls, the phone controls, I don't have navigation. I'll touch back on that in a second, but everything I've found that I want to work works, especially and including the actual drive modes. Like I said, you just can't customize them anymore. So now as far as what I've lost, now let's talk about a little bit of what I've gained. So there's been questions about the newer system, whether it's faster than the old one. I didn't have a whole lot of experience with my car before I upgraded this, so I can't speak that too much, but I can just say that I'm normally pretty picky about how these things perform. And honestly, I think this thing's pretty fast. I mean, even, I was earlier going into the drive mode setting, or the menu settings. Everything in here goes pretty quickly. Between menus, it goes back and forth pretty fast. I think this is pretty decent. It's pretty responsive. The touchscreen itself still takes a little more effort than a typical smartphone, but that's the design of the screen. I don't think that's going to get better or worse with any year or hardware upgrade. But as far as the actual changing between the screens, scrolling, things like that, that stuff all still works great as far as I'm concerned. I don't have navigation. Like I said, I went to the IO5 upgrade. That does not give you factory navigation. I don't care because I've got Android Auto for mine now. My car didn't have navigation to start with, so all I really cared about was getting Google Maps navigation and traffic. That was my main thing with this. So one of the other things I was able to do, I was also able to keep my HD radio. Depending on which radio module you buy, you may or may not lose that, or your car may have not had it to begin with. As I understand, the 2015s don't have HD radio antennas, so it really doesn't matter what you do. You're not going to have it on a 15. My 14 had it to start with. I wanted to keep it. I bought the right radio, so I'm able to keep my HD radio. So that was kind of nice. Give it a second there, and syncs up nicely. But the big thing's Android Auto, and also CarPlay if you've got an Apple phone. So the big thing there is the maps navigation. It's currently showing traffic right now, but all this stuff, I mean, as far as scrolling in around, zooming in and out, going into menus, everything seems to work great. I mean, it's responsive. I like it. I'm happy with it. I've never been driving the car, I've been in the car and thought, hey, this is too slow, or it's not up to my standards. I think it's good. Maybe you're a little bit different. Maybe it's got something to do with your phone. Don't got a whole lot of experience with other cars and other setups, so I can just tell you what mine does, and I can just say I'm very happy with it. As far as a phone, I've got a Galaxy Note 8, so it's pretty new, pretty quick. Maybe that would affect some of this. But again, as far as I'm concerned, this all works pretty quickly as far as going back and forth between menus. Doing a lot with the on-screen here. You can do it with the keypads too. So there we go. But yeah, it's all, I mean, scrolling through songs on the list here. I mean, it all comes up, loads pretty quickly. It's loading from the USB drive in the back there, behind the screen. That's all nice and quick. Switch back to radio. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty good. One other thing, so when I upgraded this, I also ended up with this camera icon. Normally, if you had front cameras, this would work. Clearly doesn't work in my car because I don't have front cameras. There's a lot more to upgrading to the cameras than just putting cameras in the front grille. There's a whole module that goes in the trunk, a bunch of wiring with it. Again, it's pretty complicated, not something I ever plan on doing. But you'll notice that if you do this upgrade, you'll have that icon. It's useless. So I just threw it off screen where I didn't have to look at it. But again, as far as the performance goes, it's great. As far as what I lost, I'd prefer to have everything working, but it didn't work out that way. But as far as what I gained, I figure that I personally say that outweighs the one thing that I lost, which was the drive mode customization. So again, everything else in the car, from what I've seen, works great. I'm absolutely thrilled with this upgrade. As far as if it's for you, that's just a question that only you can answer. So if you have any questions, definitely seek me out on the forum. Again, my name's Jeff V, and I'll do what I can to help you guys out. I've got a lot of DIY experience with this and a lot of other cars, so I'd try to help out where I can, and I think I'm reasonably knowledgeable. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.